Warhammer 40k lore in the Bible, where I pull from Warhammer 40k lore to help explain biblical lore. And today we're going to be going over the Mandrakes, carrying on the theme of going what we went over in Kyokin's podcast. And before we get into the video, I do a regular biblical video. Also, take the wikis with a grain of salt. The rest is Warhammer 40k content. Sorry, that was a little out there. And sorry for not getting this out last week. I got pretty sick for like a good week, and I'm feeling a little bit better now. You could probably hear my voice. But it was rough. It was weird and rough. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into this. A mandrake is a foul humanoid creature who was once one of the Drukhari of Commorragh that lurk within the darkest corners of the Webway's labyrinthine confines. Its name is a translation into Imperial Low Gothic of a word in the Aeldari Lexicon. The mandrakes can be found in Mandrake, a region of Commorragh, literally fallen into shadow. It is one of several districts of Commorragh that exists in more than one dimension at once. In Mandrake, shadows thicken and writhe as living things, flowing into one another and attempting to capture those that venture into the district. It is in Mandrake that the mandrakes and the shade ravens make their lairs. Rumor has it that somewhere in Mandrake lies a portal to a world where shade demons exist who can freeze the soul with but one touch. This vile breed of their species is secretly feared even by other Drukhari, for a mandrake can pull itself into any region of space-time through another being's shadow, emerging with sibilant hiss to sink its frigid claws and teeth into flesh. Their ebony skins writhe with the blasphemous runes, and their faces shift and flow. One moment, a featureless mask. The next, parting to reveal a maw filled with sharpened teeth. Mandrakes exist both in real space and a cursed shadow world that may be part of the immaterium, or the warp. To fight them is to combat a living shadow. So we're getting into the history now. The true origins of the mandrakes remain shrouded in time and secrecy. Some Aeldari savants claim that the mandrakes are descended from those of their species inhabiting the Webway, who before the fall of the Aeldari engaged in heinous acts of lust with demonic entities of the warp, when the lost Aeldari Empire was at its most decadent. Others hold that the living shadows are descended from a forbidden Aeldari pleasure cult that found its own way to escape the devastation of the fall, fleeing into a nightmare dimension of shadow within the immaterium, and re-emerging as something no longer quite natural. Young Drukhari called the mandrakes creepers. Creepers? Oh man. Sorry. And whispers that they crawl from one shadow to another and can emerge from one's reflection into the real universe. They believe that the mandrakes are the absence of light given life, and in that they may very well be right. Such theories do not seem too far-fetched when one examines the mandrake's appearance. Their flesh is night black and seems to absorb rather than reflect light. Their featureless faces shift like rancid oil, while their hair is the color of splintered bone. Surrounding them is an aura of darkness and cold that saps the strength from all those with misfortune to be standing nearby. Often the first sign of an imminent mandrake attack will be the sudden onset of freezing temperatures. This is kind of interesting because you kind of hear that in, real life too, right? with poltergeist activity, I guess you want to say, if you think it's that. But, anyways, flash freezing all the moisture out of the very air. The shapes set into their flesh are Aeldari sigils of destruction that pulse with venomous green brilliance when the mandrake feeds upon the terror and pain of its victims. Mandrakes possesses the ability to channel those stolen life energies, shaping blasts of blue-white cold fire known as bale blasts that emerge from their taloned hands to freeze their foes in place. When they finally fall upon their terrified prey, they use not only the natural weapons of claw and fang, but also hideous sickle-shaped blades similar to surgical tools beloved of the Hayman. I almost have a hard time saying that one too, man. Okay, so the role. Like all inhabitants of the Dark City, the Mandrakes thrive on infliction of pain and terror on other living things. As a result of their unsurpassed abilities at stealth, many Drukhari Archons have sought to hire the Mandrake's services for a real space raid by his or her cabal. If you guys want to know a cool, I guess you could say not cool, but a biblical factoid, when you see Archangel, this is what it is in the Greek. Archon, which just means commander. So, very interesting. The Mandrakes normally ask for a share of any slaves taken as their payment, but sometimes for reasons unknown, they will ask for something far more arcane, such as a heartbeat, a true name, or a voice. Such requests are rarely denied, for the Mandrake's only clothing is a patchwork garment created from flayed skins of those who have betrayed them. Must be a lot if everyone's making these garments. They are infamous for their ability to track down any quarry, and they are able to manifest anywhere in the universe that shadows gather. Okay, Night Fiend. Sometimes a mandrake of particular age and power will join a Drukhari raid and will lead others of its kind in the taking of slaves or in pursuit of one of its more esoteric desires. These hideous creatures are called Night Fiends among the Drukhari, and they may possess many powers of shadow that remain unknown even to the denizens of Commorragh. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get into the biblical side of things now. All right, Job 24:17. For the morning is to them even as the shadow of death. If one know them, they are in the towers of the terrors of the shadow of death. So you can think of the shadow of death as the Mandrake of, kind of the warp, but, in a multi-dimensional thing, I guess you could say, but I don't know. Anyways, you guys get where I'm going with that. So the shadow of death is like your warp type stuff, basically. Okay, Job 38:17. Have the gates of death. So we have death. See, this is what I was trying to say. Yeah. So death, you could say, is kind of like your warp type stuff, right? But then this, been opened unto thee, or hast thou seen the doors of the shadow of death? So, very interesting. But you're going to see shadow of death a lot together. So, right, the famous psalm passage, right? Though you lead me through the valley of shadow of death. But anyways, so Proverbs 30:13. Now, when I bring up the Drukhari or the Aeldari, I always bring up this verse because it's an interesting verse. So, Proverbs 30:13. There is a generation. Oh, how lofty are their eyes, and their eyelids are lifted up. That's interesting. There is a generation whose teeth are as swords, and their jaw teeth as knives, to devour the poor from the earth, and the needy from among men. What does it sound like? Anyways, the horse leech hath two daughters crying, give, give. There are three things that are never satisfied, yea, four things say not, it is enough. Okay. Anyways, so interesting. Now, Psalms 63:9. This is going to be getting into kind of one of the Mandrake's abilities. So, Psalm 63:9. But those that seek my soul to destroy it shall go in the lower parts of the earth. That would be called Sheol. But so it's talking about those who seek my soul to destroy it. This isn't you can say metaphorical, right? He's literally saying, or as he would have said, me, that seek to destroy me, right? But it's saying my soul. Interesting. So Ezekiel 13:20. Wherefore thus saith the Lord God, behold, I am against your pillows. These are your voodoo type like dolls, I should say. Wherewith ye there hunt the souls to make them fly. That's interesting. And I will tear them from your arms, and I will let the souls go, even the souls that ye hunt to make them fly. Why are they hunting these souls, right? Interesting. Okay. Now we're going to get in what is, we kind of went over it already, but Bale Blast. So mandrakes can channel the life energy stolen from their prey into blasts of freezing flame, wreathing their victims in spectral fires that burn through flesh and soul alike. Very interesting. So it can destroy both the flesh and the soul. You see this kind of in the book of Enoch, there is an angel that his job is to smite souls. So interesting. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and leave you guys with that. Thank you guys for watching, and you guys have a wonderful day.